Happy Monday. Welcome to Chair Mind Body Connection. We are going to start in about 1 minute. Today we're going to be focusing on our hands and our feet. We're going to do a lot of stretching and doing mobility exercises of our hands and feet, and then we'll move on from there. So, sneak peek of what's coming. Okay, good morning. Welcome to Chair Mind Body Connection. Welcome to another Monday, another week. We're going to do hands and feet today, work on mobility, some strengthening exercises. You don't need anything, just your body. But we're going to start out, as always, big comfy sweater. 2 minutes of just breathe. Time for yourself. You can think of what you're happy about today. You can think of what you're grateful for today. Any thoughts that come in, acknowledge them and send them on their way. Your eyes can be closed, they can be gazing down towards the floor in a nice soft gaze. And you can do whatever kind of breathing you feel most comfortable doing today. Okay, release that, roll the shoulders one direction, and the other direction. And just move forward and back a few times. At least here is one of those days you just want to curl up on the couch with a blanket. So I commend you for coming and taking part in this routine today. This is a little one way and then a little the other. We're not falling off the chair though, of course. You can draw up one arm and come back. And then we can switch sides. And come on up. Cross one leg over. Just hang out here for a second, sit out nice and tall. So we're going to start working on this foot. We're going to do some ankle exercises, we're going to do some hand exercises, we're going to do some foot exercises. We're going to do some wrist exercises, all that fun stuff. So we're just going to start out with pointing and flexing the foot. Big motions. And then let's go a little right and a little left. Obviously there's not going to be a ton of movement in that area. That's okay. And circle one way. And the other way. Okay, hold that foot still, and I want you to just take your hands, and we're going to literally spend 5 minutes working on this foot. So all we're going to do is we're going to take our thumbs and we're going to massage the underside of our foot. We're going to work towards the heel, we're going to work towards the ball of the foot, we're going to work on the toes. When have you given yourself a foot massage? Probably in a very long time. I'm working on literally like stretching the foot wide. My hands are on the bottom and they're kind of pulling and stretching. This should not cause pain in any way, shape, or form. Just pressure. And I'm going to take each toe and I'm going to work on massaging each toe, and I'm going to pull it slightly away from the foot. You might get a little crack or creak. If you have a tennis ball at home, you can put the tennis ball on the floor, or a lacrosse ball, or something that has a little bit of give to it, and take your foot and roll it on top of the ball. And when you get to a point where you're feeling a little pressure, a little stiff, a little sore, maybe you hold that spot and kind of give a little myofascial release to that spot. If you want to go back to the pointing and the flexing and the rights and the lefts and the circles, you can. I'm saying when I say 5 minutes, I mean legit 5 minutes. Foot health and hand health are extremely important. Most of the time, your feet are just literally in socks and shoes and you pay no attention. I'm taking my hand and I'm running it down the middle of my foot. And we can take that foot and we can flex it and really pull that foot towards our shin and really stretch out the calf and the heel. And then pull it the other way. I can already feel a difference between one foot and the other. This other foot's like, me, my turn. And really work that foot. Also, feet are very important for setting up success for exercises. So if you do a lot of walking, running, biking, standing, anything, and your feet aren't happy, the rest of your body is not happy. They say that your foundation obviously starts at the bottom. That is true, but that also might not be true. If you have a bad foot something or other, that's going to throw your hips off, which will throw your back off, which will throw your shoulders off, which will throw your knees off, which will throw everything off. But if you have something wrong with your hips, then that's going to throw your feet off. So always want to kind of look for where it's coming from, but you also want to treat all areas. So maybe your problem's coming from your hip or your back or your shoulder or your knee. But we never want to not treat everything. And I'm just literally just rubbing the top and the bottom of my foot, making a little nice warm sandwich. We're almost done with this side. I'm going to do some more up and downs and left and rights and circles. One more nice little rub with those feet and those toes. Okay, let's switch out to the other side. Now you should automatically feel a difference between that first foot and that second foot. That first foot should feel nice and limber, and I'm going to do some pointing and flexing. But and left and right in circles. This other foot should feel stiff and colder. Once you've done some circles and movement, really start getting in there with those fingers. Really spreading that foot apart. Working your fingers down the mid part of your foot. Taking those toes, pulling them apart, pulling them to the side. Taking that foot, pulling it towards the shin and stretching out the calf and the heel. And then pulling it the other direction, so pointing those toes and stretching out the top part of the foot and the lower part of the shin. And you can just go free for all, circles, pointing, flexing, whatever feels good. Really get into that heel too. And I totally do not think this is a waste of time. Anytime that you're working on yourself is important. And sometimes it literally is important for someone to go through it with you. So for me to just say, oh, stretch out your feet. Well, let's be honest, you're not going to spend 5 minutes per foot. No way. But if I'm doing it with you and taking that time with you and showing you that it's important, then maybe you'll do it. We're almost done with this foot. Another like 90 seconds or so. Point, flex, left, right, circles. And if you don't have access to both feet due to a reason, hopefully you're spending extra time on that first foot. Maybe you're working towards the part of the leg where you can get towards your foot. Maybe you're in a cast or a wrap, or if you're in a wheelchair of some kind, maybe you're just kind of focusing on where you can reach. All right, another couple more seconds here. And then we're going to do some mobility with these feet. So we're going to imagine that there is a napkin on the floor or a marble on the floor. Obviously, if you have these items, wonderful, great. We're not going to do them with the products today because I'm assuming you probably don't have them on hand. Okay, and relax and release. So I'm going to imagine that I dropped a tissue on the ground and I'm going to pick it up with my feet. So I'm going to, if this is the ground, this is my foot, I'm going to go and grab with my toes and pull it back. I'm going to release. And I'm going to grab, and so I'm literally like imagining that I'm taking tissues out of a box. So we're going to start with the leg that with the foot that we worked on first. So in this case, that's my left leg. My right leg's just going to be hanging out and chilling. So I'm going to reach, squeeze those toes, pull back in. And I'm just going to keep going. So we're getting some movement with the knee, and we're really curling those toes. Now let's try to grab that tissue and pull up, release. Grab that tissue. Or maybe it's a marble or something. So if you're doing this in real life, I would suggest something literally like a tissue that's nice and light and easy to grab. You can do it with a handkerchief or a tea towel, but it's a little harder because they're a little thicker, so they may be hard to grab. So you can also do something literally like a marble. Okay, let's go to the other foot. So we're just reaching and pulling first. Reaching, curl, and pull. And let's grab that tissue and pull up. Let's do one more. And release. Okay, I want you to pretend that these are my feet. I'm going to push down with my big toe, come up. Next toe, individually pushing down to the ground, going all the way through and all the way through. So push down. If you have no socks on, you can physically see if it's working for you. If not, there's a lot less communication between your brain and individual toes like there is with your fingers. So more than likely you're assuming those toes are going down individually, but more than likely they're going down with a couple other too, and that's fine. Let's go through 2 more times. And 1 more. And release. So now we're just going to go up on the toes and back down the heels. So we're rolling through and coming back. Working that ankle. When we were in the gym setting, sometimes I would have people sit down and take a resistance tube and put it over the top of their foot, and we would work on movements side to side, up and down, left and right, with resistance. All right, hold it still. We're just gonna roll up and back down. So I'm rolling here and back. Rolling to the outside of my foot. So obviously I'm going to be doing some movement from the hip too, and that's fine. Everything's connected. And so now let's just take the one foot and we're just gonna roll in. So we're not gonna roll both ends in at the same time or else our knees are gonna hit. So we're just rolling in and out to flat. Other leg, in, flat. back to the other side, and we're gonna go all the way out to the center, all the way in. So we're going all the way. And now let's go all the way forward and back. All the way forward and back. 3 more times. Release. Other leg, all the way to one side, all the way to the other. Now let's add in the rest of it. So all the way in, to the center, forward and back. One way, other, forward, back. 3 more. Last one, and release. Take one foot, cross it over the other. I'm just gonna lean forward and relax. Stretch out the side of the leg a little bit. This foot hopefully is feeling fine. I've walked around barefoot or without shoes more these last 10 months. I don't think I ever have. And let's switch to the other side. But also being said, with your shoes, make sure you're checking your shoes out every so often. If you're going for runs and walks and things, obviously you're gonna see the wear and tear on your sneakers, but check the wear and tear on your dress shoes, on your winter boots, on your slippers. Treat your feet like the kings and queens that they are. I know that sounds ridiculous and stupid, but it's true. Okay, so let's work on our hands. So I'm sitting up nice and tall. I'm just going to take one hand and I'm going to do my little circles. And if you guessed we're going to do hand massages too, then you would be right. So let's go up and down and left and right. And then take your hand and let's begin. So I'm working with that thumb on the other hand, and I'm working down the inside of my palm, going towards the meaty bits, towards the bony bits, towards the fleshy bits, all that sort of stuff. I'm working on the inside, and then I'm working down each finger, giving them a slight little pull. And then don't forget the back side of our hands, maybe little circles. And keep it going while I bring my dog inside. Hopefully we're still going. Here, 1 more minute. We're only going to do 3 minutes on the hands. You can still do some circles, some up and downs, left and rights. Do some little doorknob turns, some top doorknob turns, some bottom doorknob turns. You can pull that hand down and really stretch out the top part of our arm here. You can go the other way and stretch out the forearm here. You can make a fist and pull in. I like that one a lot. You have the 30 seconds. Get a lot of resistance right here in this bottom part of my thumb, so I'm going to take a little time there. And then once you feel that side's good, other side, and immediately you should feel a difference. Left side versus right side. We're going to spend that 3 minutes here, working, pulling those fingers, working the top side of the hand and the underside of the hand. When you put on lotion, do you take that extra couple seconds and give your hands some love? If you don't put on lotion, I don't know how you can stand the wintertime, but to each their own. Remember, we can go forward, back, left, right, up, down, doorknobs high, doorknobs low, pulling that hand down. Holding it over. Making a fist and pulling down. And really getting in there, the meat of your hand. And then we're going to do some exercises like we do with our feet. Sometimes in physical therapy, you'll use things like silly putty or clay or Play-Doh or bands, rubber bands, webbing, things like that. If you have those things, great. Or if you have those little things that you can, like a squeezy ball or a squeezy spring activated type of thing, almost like something you use for a weight collar for a resistance exercise equipment. You have those things, wonderful, great. Most people don't. Another 30 seconds or so here. Okay, and then release. So we're just gonna literally shake out those hands. Make them super loose, shake them out. You can go all the way up your forearm into your shoulders and just kind of make it all sorts of loose, get the juices flowing, get the blood going. Okay, then take a hand, doesn't matter which one. I'm gonna just place it down here so you can see. I'm just gonna take my thumb, tuck it in. One finger, tuck it in. And just go down the line and go back. If it hurts to go all the way to bring that finger or thumb all the way down, then obviously guess what? Don't do it. But we're going here with our fingers straight. Now let's do it just bending the knuckles. Now, if you're like me, I can't get my thumb I can get my thumb to bend by itself and my index finger to go by itself. Once I start bending those other fingers, the other ones kind of come along for the ride. That's fine. Now let's make a fist and release, shake it out. Make a fist, release, shake it out, and make a fist, release, shake it out. Other hand, let's go nice big movement from the fingers first. You may notice dexterity issues or changes or differences between your right side and your left. Totally fine. They were there with your feet too, you probably just didn't notice. Let's move from the knuckles. Now let's make a fist. Shake it out. Make a fist. Shake it out, and make a fist, and shake it out. Okay, so bring your right arm by your side, come up, fist, open, back down. So we're getting some bicep and hand. Now come up, elbow up, down, and open. So squeeze, up, and open. 2 more. And let's add in more steps. So we're coming up, squeeze, elbow, open here, and then come back down. So we're doing 2 squeezes. Let's do 2 more. Shake it out. Other side. So we're coming up, squeeze, down, and open. Let's add in that elbow. So come up, squeeze, elbow, and down. Then we're going to add in that second opening. So come up, elbow, open, and down. Two more. And shake it out. Beautiful. Step forward or scoot your hips forward on your chair so there's a little bit of room here. And then take that right arm and bring it back. And then take the left arm and bring it back. So I'll turn. This is kind of what I'm doing here. I have one arm on top of the other. And I'm just going to be up nice and tall, pulling the shoulders down and back. Taking some nice big breaths and really stretching all right here in our upper pec. And then I'm going to switch my arms, so if my right arm is on top now, it's my left arm or vice versa. Keeping everything back where it is, can you potentially bring your hands together and fingertips up? If not, no worries, just do what you can. My palms can't touch. I'm okay with that. Maybe now, fingers down. Can your palms touch? Maybe, maybe not. and release. Shake it on out. Let's do the same thing in front. We're gonna take one arm and cross it over the other. One arm's on top, one arm's underneath, and we're just gonna bring those arms up, but our shoulders are still down. I'm gonna come and I'm gonna switch them out. Other arm is on top, elbows up, shoulders down. And release. Take those arms, let them hang down by your side, and all we're gonna do is we're gonna lean forward with a flat back. Those arms are gonna come up, those arms are gonna come down, and then we're gonna roll up. So we're doing this little nice little wave motion. So hips is what we're bending from. Our back is flat, so we're doing this with our upper body. We're not hunched over, our back is flat. Arms down, lean forward, bring those arms up, bring them down. We're not swinging those arms, we're in control the whole time. Two more like that. Now we're going to go forward and back. So come forward. When you come up, arms go back behind you. Up, forward, back behind. Three more. Forward and back. Forward and back. Forward and back. Release those arms, shake them out. I literally want you to just swing your arms in front. Super loose, super noodle-like. I love doing this when I'm standing up and I go all the way around. Obviously, I don't do that in a chair, but I love doing that stretch. And sit yourself back. Take one leg, cross it over. If you can't cross it over, you can do a figure four, totally fine. Arms in front, lean forward, flat back, and just let your neck hang. Come on up, spinal twist, one way. And spinal twist the other way. Come back to the center, switch it up. Other leg, so we're crossing over first. Just kind of crossing my hands in front. I'm bending over with a flat back, and I'm letting my neck hang. I'm letting my head hang. Coming up, I'm twisting one way. And I'm twisting the other way. And come back to the center. Feet on the ground. Let's finish off with a little neck. So let's bring one ear towards the shoulder. And switch. We're gonna go back and forth 2 more times. So if you notice that one side is tighter than the other, maybe we can try to consciously relax our shoulders Switch back. And switch. The last time, if you want to put your hand on top, you can. And switch. Come up. We're going to do some little smiley faces. So we're starting with our chin towards our shoulder. We're going down. And we're coming up the other side. Nice and slow. And then we're going to do the smiley face the other way. So we're going to come up and around the top. And then come back to a nice neutral neck. And lastly, point that chin up and out. And relax. 2 more times. Point that chin. I can literally feel this in my upper back. And release. And finally, one more time. Really pointing it out. And release. Bring yourself forward. One final stretch for the lower body. Point those toes up towards the sky. And we're just going to roll ourselves down. Flat back. Stretching out the back of the legs and the hamstrings. And roll it up and switch it up. Other leg. And come up. We have time for our 2-minute relaxation at the end. Now, if someone was watching this workout from afar, they'd be like, what did you just do for the last 45 minutes? You did nothing. But I will tell you that my body feels totally different. My feet and my hands feel amazing. My back feels stretched. My neck feels stretched. And I feel more invigorated than I did an hour ago. So just because you're not doing like crazy movements doesn't mean that you didn't take that 45 minutes for yourself and really do some really good work for you. And if someone gives you grief, tell them, join you next time. And you can see what all the fun's about. Obviously, you probably don't have time to do this full routine if you're just kind of at your desk and feeling a little out of sorts, but maybe you can take 5 or 10 minutes and take little pieces of that. Go through a couple little exercises. maybe you're sitting in traffic and you can give yourself a hand massage or do some neck rolls. Okay, that's it. Thanks for coming and stretching out with me today. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I'll see you next Monday.